The Coinceras channel appreciates your continued support. Here is where XRP can really shine. You know, I was actually considering this earlier. I have a lot of admiration for experts. Since it would be illogical to pretend differently, it should not be surprising that no one is ever entirely right. Furthermore, it is inappropriate to be overly critical when someone is mistaken. However, I can tell you that a handful of analysts I know are very bullish on XRP. They have been open about their massive XRP holdings for quite some time. On the other hand, XRP has been largely ignored over the last 2 months. At the moment, my mental image is of a trustworthy blockchain-based cryptocurrency. They're thinking about XRP. Plus, they're not acting randomly. You know, charts are used to show where the action is and what's happening on a larger scale. They're thinking about XRP. And why is that so? I will share their views on the subject since they believe the time is right and because XRP had a short run today in case you missed it. Yesterday, Bitcoin was at the head of the pack, and we committed that massive 6,000. I mean, we got 6,000. It was a sin. I mean, I did the maths and invested in Bitcoin back when it was worth less than what it is today. Looking at it that way, isn't success funny? But still, 6,000. A small increase in XRP's value was pleasant, but today it's performing much better. Lots of people are hoping it will keep happening. Also, I wanted to clarify a couple things I said in yesterday's video. I'm still more bullish than bearish, and there aren't many metrics that make me hopeful, so I still think the rise has a ways to go before it reaches its top. Metrics in general, not those specific to chart analysis, are what I'm getting at since I'm not a TA guy. But I look at it, and I think being positive here is a fantastic notion, and the markets will keep going higher. That's the case with practically everything. So that we can resolve this, I will share this with you. I feel forced to expound on the rationale behind my worries, since I touched on it briefly yesterday. Let us be clear, I am not from a wealthy family or anything. My advice on money matters is not gospel. Additionally, you shouldn't do any financial deals that I suggest. I am simply an enthusiast who enjoys making documentaries on YouTube about crypto-related issues for fun and as a pastime. The price of XRP has ranged from 59.5 cents an hour ago to its current level of 58.6 cents. The majority of experts predict that it will reach that level soon. At its current price of 56,834, Bitcoin is doing well, and many market watchers anticipate that it will soon hit the 60s and perhaps the 70s. Their prediction that XRP will break 1 again, even though it has been quite a time, is still relatively close. At its peak, the price was 57.531 after 24 hours. Because it is so incredible, I would really like to see it. A measure of crypto-related anxiety and optimism. Our avarice runs rampant because of this. Because an 82 out of 100 is completely foreign to me, this is the maximum it has ever been. Consequently, we haven't had much opportunity to give in to our overwhelming avarice. Nonetheless, this is a new high point. Make peace with it since it is what it is. As far as anyone can tell, Turntablist's reputable crypto has not referenced XRP in a post for quite some time. Beginning on February 19th, I also brought up the fact that he had put out a 20-minute video and that I could offer you some feedback on it. Whether you like it or not, this was written by a reliable crypto author. If you're interested in making money, you might want to start paying attention to XRP. In the video below, I explain why XRP could soon outperform by analyzing the XRP BTC and XRP USD charts. An intriguing point, and perhaps a crucial one, is that the XRP BTC chart he displayed at that very moment made it appear as though XRP was just declining in value. Everyone is talking a big game about XRP recently, so it makes sense. Anytime you hear someone talking about XRP, you can bet they're extremely into it. And then there are instances like this, where XRP looks incredibly cheap compared to Bitcoin at first. A tremendous resurgence has always followed a period of severe downturn in the past. That is why reliable cryptos refrained from talking about it for a long time. It was the thing that interested him. Within what amount of time might it have? December was the last time he made a post about XRP. Regardless, he accomplished precisely that on February 19th. That drew me in right away. He reposted that later in the day. He wrote XRP waking up earlier today. Very predictable. You should find it helpful to watch the video I shared about it a week ago. Without a question. One other thing I'd want to bring up is this. Therefore, in addition to my own writing, I will also be providing analyses from other sources. Nevertheless, I need to address this matter first. I indicated at the outset that I think we are still a long way off from seeing the crypto markets and Bitcoin achieve their top based on practically every measure I look at. Because of this, I try to keep an optimistic outlook, but there are certain things that worry me, and I still believe it's fair. Nonetheless, considering everything that's happening right now, I'd bet money that Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, crashes, meets all the challenges that XRP faces, etc. I could be totally incorrect. Some of my beliefs aren't as rock solid as they may seem. Still, a few items are outstanding. I feel compelled to make some observations in light of this. Then XRP is the important asset. A member of the community named Brian Monarch has asked a question about cryptocurrency. He brought up the fact that many people don't have the money to invest, and that some people think that institutional buyers, not regular people, are responsible for Bitcoin's price surge. Right this second. There haven't been many Google searches for Bitcoin or related topics. In your opinion, would Bitcoin be viable at these prices? So, the ETFs were turned down, right? You have made your point clearly. Plus, those have been mentioned in my most recent videos. We are still here, despite the fact that Bitcoin search volume on Google has been falling for the last week. Despite the fact that Bitcoin is proceeding as expected, its price has recently surged, leaving everyone to question what's going on. That is really unusual. While you were here, did you say anything else? I understand. And by the way, who is making the purchase? Do you mean to imply that you can trace the origin of the money? This, I will share with you. Example, Coinbase. There has been an 85% drop in the number of users since I last checked a week ago. From the highs of the last cycle. 85%. Retail isn't even present, and prices are this outrageous. Hello, Brian. What an excellent question, Monique. Reliable cryptocurrency responded in this way. These kinds of record-breaking retail influxes are typical. There was a scarcity of resources even among history's most prominent figures. If that weren't the case, there would have been other exchange-traded funds. In this case, it was the ETFs that set the fire. However, everything was prepared because the logs were already saturated with kerosene. For the time being, I'll keep saying things like, these are some of the things that I look at, and it tells me hope this is the high for Bitcoin, because up until that point, everything you say is absolutely correct, and I completely understand his point of view. This is very strange. Throughout history, there has never been anything comparable. Therefore, this time around, things would be different. Just plain old misery. However, the top is still located at this level. I think that's everything. Because I have a hard time believing it to be true, barring a black swan event. On the other hand, I am aware of the potential. Those pesky bears could be standing just here. I used a reliable cryptocurrency to respond to the post nevertheless. My concerns have been somewhat allayed by this. So, I said, I'd love to hear your take on something that is, in my opinion, critical for reliable cryptocurrencies. Despite appearances, is the stock market actually performing better? If that's the case, what do you think about it? The Dow Jones Industrial Average and the Nasdaq 500, a handful of companies have driven the market to new heights this year, but the overall market isn't rising. A number of major companies have really laid off tens of thousands of employees. Many well-known companies fall into this category, including BlackRock, Nike, Amazon, eBay, Microsoft, Salesforce, iRobot, UPS, PayPal, Snap, Cisco, Paramount, Estée Lauder, and countless more. Nonetheless, the argument stands. Given that the price of cryptocurrencies has historically risen in tandem with stock market gains, is it appropriate to be concerned? Meanwhile, what if there is zero growth in the stock market but record highs are nonetheless achieved by cryptocurrencies and stocks? From past experiences, we can deduce that crypto cannot achieve new levels of success without extensive growth. Please feel free to share your opinions and views with me, I would be very grateful. That, in my opinion, pretty much covers everything, you guys. Based on almost all of the data I've examined, it's clear that we're still quite low. So, although most data doesn't point to a peak, there are a couple that make me nervous. I am eagerly anticipating their arrival. So, in order to guess, I would have to twist my arm. It makes sense to me. Those are, I guess, new records. I might be more convinced if this weren't the case. Allow me to introduce you to Crypto then spoke up in response. I appreciate him taking the time to talk to me. According to him, the SPX S&P 500 is in the midst of a secular boom cycle that has lasted for a decade and is a tech bubble that will burst at some point, so he is not investing in technology at the moment. We are cognizant of the fact that bubbles were visible at the peak. Prior to the decline, there are irrational price spikes, generalized elation, etc. Nvidia, among many others, are presently dominating the stock market. I will not try to time the correction because these pre-bubble, parabolic surges can go forever. Nonetheless, a major crash or correction in traditional markets is long overdue. Tech equities and cryptocurrency have maintained a strong correlation since the COVID crash. But I still don't believe a connection proves a cause and effect relationship. Crypto has been in a secular bull cycle from the start, so even if one market isn't influencing the other directly, there will still be a correlation between both. Could it be a coincidence that conventional markets are also on the verge of their own blow-off peak, and that my secular bull on crypto, which has lasted for decades, will come to an end after this next blow-off peak? I intend to assess each market independently in the end. Still, I think major falls do and will occur after blow-off peaks in both cases. At last, it concludes it. As far as he's concerned, when looking at stock values, it doesn't matter if most firms aren't growing. He may be right, and I really hope so. My highest hopes are with him. On the other hand, the blockchain advocate has been vocal about one point that they find objectionable. I shall patiently await the outcome, but not even he can fool me. Have you looked at the Russell 2000? For instance, it has been performing poorly recently, I am not exaggerating. On rare occasions, the Russell 2000 has surpassed the S&P 500 in a single trading session. It is feasible, but unusual, to finish in 10 or 12 months. So, to sum up, those are my primary concerns. It seems like trustworthy cryptocurrency is assuming it won't make a difference. That is the end of the video. If you could hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, that would mean the world to me. Depart, muchas gracias.